Evan Hay lunged forward and scooped the sprinting prince off the polished floor. Prince Kef's small claws scrabbled against Evan's vest as the child buried his face in the human's shoulder. The boy's panicked breath rasped through the translator implant in Evan's ear. Monsters. Chasing. Evan scanned the corridor. Empty. No monsters. Who shadows from the vaulted arches? Palacio security protocols flashed in his mind. Restricted wing, air unsecured. He tightened his grip on the wriggling 5-year-old and pivoted toward the throne chamber. Easy, kiddo. I've got you. Evan kept his voice steady, like talking down a toddler at the old Earth daycare gigs. Keth's tail coiled around Evan's arm, a vice grip. Footsteps echoed behind them. Evan glanced back. The guards burst from a side passage. Plasma lances humming to life. Captain Roaming led them, Erst crest flaring in alarm. Oh man! Release the prince, Roaming barked. Air lance tip glowed blue. Evan didn't flinch. A raised his free hand, palm out, the universal halt. He's safe. Panicking. Taking him back to Mom. Roaming's eyes narrowed, flicking between Evan and Keth. The child peeked out, then clung tighter. Warts flankered, lances steady. Evan met her gaze. Captain. Protocol. Secure the principal first. She hesitated. Results mattered here. Evan had drilled that into her team last week. Her crest flattened slightly. Proceed, but explain this breach. Evan nodded once and strode on. Keth's warmth seeped through his uniform. The kit smelled like citrus and ozone. Alien princely shampoo. Sunlight speared through crystal domes, illuminating the dais where Queen Sharani held court. Nobles in iridescent robes murmured around hovering data orbs. Lord Advisor Vale stood closest to the throne, his polished fangs glinting as he gestured. Evan walked straight to the dais steps. Nailed, setting Keth down gently. Found him in the east corridor. Panic, sighed something about monsters. Keth straightened his tiny robe. His wide eyes locked on Evan. Then, with court-shaking clarity, the boy pointed to that. The chamber froze. Every blade in the room tilted toward Evan's throat. Guards snapped, lances up. Nobles hissed, claws extending. Bale's datar shattered in his grip, shards scattering like ice. Evan blinked. Translator glitch? He glanced at Keth. The kid beamed up at him, tail swishing. Queen Sharani shot to her feet. Air-crowned jewels clinked against her armored robes. Sealed the chamber. None leave until this abomination is purged. Bulkhead. Door slammed shut with pneumatic hisses. Roman's team formed the perimeter, lances trained on Evan, stayed knelt, hands visible. No sudden moves. Sharani descended the dais, a shadow engulfing them. Her voice sliced the air. Human contractor. Explain yourself. Why does my hair name you kin? Evan met her golden eyes. No fear. Whose logistics? Ma'am, I intercepted him running loose, offered my hand, walked him back. That's it. Belle slithered forward, ropes whispering. Lees, the child imprints. A forbidden bond. You're off-world. Taint corrupts our bloodline. It turned to the cart. See, the queen hovers a man paramour. Her household reeks of it. Murmurs swelled. A noble drew a curved dagger. Ramin shifted, lance wavering between Evan and Vale. Kath tugged Evan's sleeve. Dath saved me from dark place. Evan ruffled the boy's head frills gently. Hey, buddy, let's not poke the protocol bear. Sharani's claws flexed. Silence, both of you. Contractor Hay, you saved my son once before. From the schemer crash. I granted you position for that debt. But this, her gaze hardened. Imprinting defies our laws. Cross-species claims shatter alliance. Bale speaks truth. It invites war. Evan stood slowly, keeping Keth behind his legs. Blade struck him, ignored them. With respect, Your Majesty, I didn't ask for this. It panicked. I helped. Happens daily back home. Bale sneered. Your home primitives breathe cows. Weak a body born through blood rights. Oh man, sacrilege. Roman stepped in. Lord Advisor, the human trains as well. Palace breaches dropped 30% under his watch. Bale whirled. Traitor optics captain. The cart's weakness. Evan tuned the bickering. His goal, de-escalate. Protect the kids. A crouch to Keth's level. What scared you, chum? Keth whispered. Shadows moved. Hungry eyes. Evan nodded. Gardens, right? Night bloomers. They glow. Look like monsters to small eyes. The boy nodded vigorously. Evan rose. Your Majesty, before lawyers or purges, give me a child safety briefing. Palaces layout, kid routines, hazards, I'll fix the loose ends. Sharni tilted her head. You request protocols? Not defense. Defense is proactive. Kid-proof the place. No more sprints into restricted zones. Bale laughed, sharp and venomous. It mocks us. Purge, detained, now. A noble lunge, dagger flashing. Roman's lance hummed, blasting the attacker's weapon aside. Ispax flew. Evan shielded Keth instinctively, pulling the boy to his chest. The chamber erupted. Shouts, claws out. Sharani raised a clawed hand. Silence crashed down. Enough! Ale, your audacity intrigues. But Vale's faction grows. They claim my debt to you weakens the throne. Evan set Keth down. The boy clutched his leg. Ma'am, debts are square. Eat train guards. Kid needs wrangling. Simple. Her eyes softened a fraction. Private dit. Essence. The crash. He'd pulled Keth from wreckage while palace guards dithered in protocol. Groaning cleared her throat. My queen, his methods work. Let him brief and child sec. Bale pressed. And reward blasphemy? The hair calls him Dad. Oaths shatter. Keth piped up. That good. Protects. Blades twitched again. Jarrani exhaled. Chamber. Adjourned to sub-council. Duale. Romin. Get it with me. Bale. Prepare your formal charge. Doors unsealed. Evan scooped Keth, unresisting now, and followed Sharani to a side chamber. Romin trailed, lance lowered. Inside, data screens flickered to life. Sharani activated a holomap. Brief your safety, human. Evan set Keth on a cushion. The boy watched, rapt. First, sidelines, kid-sized blind spots everywhere. Install mirrors or drones at corners. Guarding access. Lock, biometrics, IR, panic buttons on his robes. Dromin leaned in. Efficient. We over-rely on static guards. Sharain nodded slowly. And the imprint? Evan shrugged. Kids latch on. Back home, we call it found family. Doesn't change DNA. Hust means I'm on diaper duty till he outgrows it. Ket giggled. That funny. Achime interrupted. Bale's face appeared on screen. My queen, the High Council convenes. The human must stand trial for corruption. Sharani's crest flared. D8. Es service. Bale's eyes gleamed. Then, I invoke right of purity, blood test the air. Prove, no taint, or abdicate. Claws dug into the console. You overreach, advisor. Evan watched the exchange. Politics. Not his lane. But Keth tugged him. Stay dead. He knelt. Promise. Romin murmured. Human, this right exposes weakness. Bale aims for regency. Evan straightened. Then we prep. Kid safe. Palace tight. Optics fix themselves. Sharani studied him. Your calm defies our storms. Why? Evan smiled faintly. Raised 3 siblings. Royals or not, kids are kids. Keth yawned, curling against Evan's boot. Outside, Chance rose. Bale's faction beat drums of tradition. Romin checked her comm. Perimeter breach. Protesters at gates. Sharani stood. Ale, are yourself. Protect my son. Evan nodded, holstering his stunner. No drama. Hust the jaw. But as alarms wailed, Keth whispered, Dad, scared. Nothing more. Blades waited beyond the door. Bale's gambit unfolded, and Evan's ordinary day cracked the empire wide. Evan lunged, scooping Prince Keth mid-stride inches from the polished stairwell drop. The child's momentum swung him back, legs kicking air over a 3-meter void that palace records deemed standard access. Keth squealed. Delighted. Again, Dad. Evan set them down firm, one hand on the royal collar. Stop means stop, bud. Heels planted. Boars lining the corridor hissed, crests flaring orange. Shock protocol. Captain Ramin stepped forward, her armored tail lashing. Uman, you touched the air without command? Treason Vaidict 47. Evan straightened, unfazed. He tapped his tablet, projecting the holomap overlay. Red flags pulsed along every upper walkway, sheer drops mixed as ramps, heat vents at tail height, crystal floors slick after dew cycles. Not treason. Mapping. These normos kill kits. Flag at 50 today. Keth tug Evan's pant leg. Show game. Robin's eyes narrowed. Your game? Or hares learn evasion strikes at cycle 3. Not toddler leashes. Evan knelt to Keth's level. Say, ready. He held up 3 fingers. Green means go play. Yellow, slow down. Red, freeze now. Keth bobbed, eyes wide. Evan pointed. Green to a safe alcove. The prince scampered, dodged a low bench with chirps of glee. Yellow at the corridor bend. Keth slowed to a creep, giggling. Red toward the stair. Keth froze solid. Claws displayed, beaming back. Perfect, Evan said. Reward. High five. Keth slapped his palm. The slap echoed, war shifted, murmurs rising. One whispered, He'll base a flat face. Romin crossed her arms. Impressive parlor trick. But invasion drills shatter hairs. Prove it, live or leave. Evan nodded. Your call, Captain. She signaled. Denguards fanned out. Stunners humming low threat. Simulate breach. Hade, evade. Keth bolted, tiny form, darting past legs. Guards, close, in controlled chaos, standard palace tactic, overwhelming speed and flanks. Keth panicked, crest spiking crimson, veering toward the stair void. Gord nobles peeked from archways, holo-recorders glinting. Lord Vale lurked in shadow, his sleek robes hiding a wrist unit. Evan didn't chase. Yellow, Keth. Slow the prince hesitated. Breaths heaving, but crept instead of sprinting. Guards light closer, wrath, freeze. Keth dropped flat behind a pillar, routine kicking in. Guards halted, confused. Protocol demanded pursuit. Evan strolled forward, calm as daycare pickup, green to safe spot. He pointed the pre-mapped alcove. Keth scrambled there, tucked into defensive curl. Evan thought, back to wall. Eyes on exits. Row Min barked, halt. Guards stood down, staring. He followed. No strike, no flight. Evan ruffled. Keth's crest. Panic's normal. Routine beats it. Kid safe. Keth picked out. Did good, Dad, you added it. Vale glided into light, recorder retracting. Captain, this routine reeks of bonding. The hair calls him family. Forbidden by purity code. If I charge, now. Romin, tensed. Lord Advisor Hal trains results. 8 survives drills intact. Bill's smile thinned. Results? Scandal. Human taint on bloodline. Queen abdicates or tests. Evan lifted Keth onto his shoulder. The prince clung, purring. Guards parted without order. Evan's map routes now etched in their pads. Romin fell in step. Val twist optics. Your methods work, human. Bat court boils. Evan check perimeter cams on his tablet. Protesters massed at gates. Drums thumping ancient rites. Optics letter. Kid first. They reached the Queen's antechamber. Sharani waited flanked by advisors. Air crest lay flat. Rare strain. Report. Romin saluted. Halem mapped hazards. Drill there. Flawless. Build charges. Improper bond. Sharani's gaze locked on Evan. Then Keth's grip on his neck. Improper. It saved my son thrice today, Keth waved. That thick stairs. Bad stairs. Courtiers gasped. Bale's faction hissed. Taint. Evan set Keth down, handed him a puzzle block from his kit. Play here, champ. Adults talk. The prince obeyed, stacking with focus. Sharani leaned close. You're calm or nervous, them, high. Why treat my hair so? Evan shrugged. Gids, test, edges, royals too. Back home, I'd gave a steer same way. No big. Romin snorted. Home. Uman's childproof death traps. Standard. Saves ER trips. Sharani's claws flexed. Air? Fix it room. Pointless. Breb beats panic. A chime pierced. Bale's face bloomed on the wall screen. My queen, council convenes on your human pet. It corrupts the hair. Sharani's voice iced. It serves. Dismissed. Bale's eyes gleamed. Then, rite of purity. Blood scanned the prince. Prove no bontaint or yield throne. Air crest flatted full crimson. Overreach advisor. Evan watch Keth stacking beside him. Politics, not his beat. But Keth passed, sensing tension. Dad, Evan knelt. All good. Build tower. Bay cut feed. Sharani exhaled sharp. Ramin, tighten ward rotations. Hal's maps. Yes, majesty. Roaming tap her come. Oman that right. It probes mind links. Bale hunts weakness for regency. Evan nodded. Pep the kid. Is clean. Sharani studied him. You defy storms. Why? Raised triceps. Royar same as Rugrats. Keth yawned, tower toppling. Head curled against Evan's boot. Stay that? Promise. Outside, chants swelled. Drums pounded, traditions call. Ramin checked feeds, perimeter breached. Protesters inside outer ring. Sharani rose. Hale, arm up, ward my son. Evan ostered his stunner, checked Keth's harness. Modified from human kid gear, soft straps under robes. No drama. Job time. Alarms, wailed. Keth whimpered. Scared death. Evan hoisted him secure. Not anymore. Routine. Wrath zone. Eyes on me. Blades flashed beyond the antechamber door. Veils, assassins cloaked as protesters. Vibro edges humming. Evan kicked the panel wide. First blade slashed high. Guard swing. He ducked. Stunner popping center mass. Attacker crumpled, twitching, Keth buried face in Evan's shoulder. Green now. Yellow. Hold tight. B. Second, lines low. Tile whip follow. Evan C-stepped. Boot to knee. Crack. Stunner finished it. Human leverage. Alien joints no match. Ramin burst from side hole. Wards behind. Flank him. They poured in. Blades clashing. Evan pivoted. Keth shielded. Dropping two more with precise bursts. Palace halls funneled them, his mapped choke points. Jarani sealed inner doors, her own stunner life. To throne room. Roots? Evan yelled over then. Secondary stair. Green path. He led, Keth chanting covers under breath. Guards marveled mid-fight. Aid calm, Uman directing like it built the place. Veils, voice boomed from speakers. Impure, surrender detained. Evan ignored. Third attacker bolted a rile. Evans flagged hazard. He timed it. Attacker slipped on dew slick crystal. Easy stunner shot. Drumming speared another. Your maps save us. Throne room doors hissed open. Sharani dragged Keth inside as Evan covered rear. Last blade fell. Seals locked. Silence dropped. Keth peeked it. Did good. Evan green. Stunner cooling. Ascetic kit. Sharani slump onto dice. Council storms gates. Bale's regency play. Roman scanned feeds. Hundreds. Armeth. Evan set Keth down. Check tablet. Defensively. Holes here. Red flags shifted to green. Breach contained. Sharani's eyes locked his. You claim no bond. Yet A calls you dad. Evan shrugged. Means dear duty till he outgrows. No DNA change. Keth giggled. Dad funny? Vale's face flickered on emergency screen. Written now, Queen. Or Empire fractures. Air class gouge armrest. Outside, drums thunder closer. Evan reloaded stunner. Ordinary day. Empire's problem. But Keth hugged his leg. And Evan held the line. Queen Sharani's claw stopped the day's const. All the screens snapped off, silencing Babe's droning face. Roman, take the prince to the inner sanctum. Double guard. Evan, stay. Evan ostered his stunner and nodded to Keth, who clutched his leg one last time before Roman scooped him up. The captive's tail flickered unease, but he obeyed. Doors hissed shut behind them. Sharani rose. Her iridescent scales gleamed on the throne lights, but fatigue etched her mandibles. She paced to the chamber's heart, voice low. The child claims you as kin. Death. Publicly, Bay twist into heresy. Define boundaries. No. Evan leaned against a pillar, tablet in hand. Palace feet still blinked green. No breaches. And met her gaze. Kids imprinted. Happens with human children too after trauma. We set rules. Written. Signed. Her eyes narrowed. Multifaceted pupils whirring. Draws. Contact limits. 1 hour daily. Supervised. No solo outings. Public? It calls me caretaker Hale. I correct gently. Locks everything. Breach, we adjust. Sharani halted. Klaus tapped her thrown arm. You treat royal imprinting like inventory. Like managing a 5-year-old with separation anxiety standard protocol. Saves drama. She circled him, scent of ozone sharp authority filling the air. Humans bond casually. Ours? Lifelong. Sacred. Forbidden across species. Bayless Council will declare my house impure. Evan pulled up a template on his tablet. Security contract addendum. Prep during the sprint. Ititle me. Caretaker adjunct. Controles narrative. Gossip dies when it's protocol. Achimi pierced the quiet inner doors cycled. Keth bursting. Ramin trailing. The prince dodged the captain's grasp, sleeve fluttering as he latched onto Evan's leg. Dad, stay! But drums go boom. Ramin bowed stiffly. Apologies, Majesty. Is slipped. Keth tugged harder. Face upturned. Sharp eyes locked on Evan. You said that's it. Dad protects. Climb stays. Guards at the doors shifted. Whispers rippled. Sharani's mandibles clicked shut. She knelt to Keth's level. Prince. Protocol. No! Keth's tail whipped. Dad. Evan crouched, hand light on the boy's shoulder. Hey, champ. Remember the game? Caretaker hail for big rooms, Dad for quiet time. Deal? Keth hesitated, then nodded fierce. Deal, but you're deaf. Sharani exhaled. She stood, activating the chamber recorder. Witnessed. Evan Hale, you are hereby caretaker adjunct to the heir apparent. Duties, protection, training, supervised bonding. Effective immediately. Evan signed the holoform. Logged. Dromin saluted. Majesty, this quiets the hulls. It buys time. Sharani's console flare. Priority ping from outer council. Be'yel's seal postrate. The advisor's face bloomed full wall. Polish robes framed his sneer. Queen Sharani. The heir's claim fractures tradition. Cross-species taint endangers succession. Emu for emergency council at dawn. Regency vote. Yield the chamber. Sharani's claws flexed. Motion noted. Denied. Palace secure. Bale leaned closer. Eyes gleaming. Security? With a flat-skinned off-worlder as family? Rites demand purity. Convene, or we force it. Drums outside the swelled. Chants echoed faint through seals. Evan check feeds. Crowd swelled. Loyalist mixed with Vale's banners. It tapped Sharani's shoulder. Green paths hold. Armory stocks full. We reinforce. She nodded, but her gaze lingered on Keth, now doodling on Evan's tablet. The boy beamed up. That caretaker drove forth. Roman cleared his throat. Human, your rules. They work on him. Evan grinned. Every time. Gids? Need structure. Sharani dismissed Vale's feed with a slash. Ahumkhal. Draft. Public decree. Caretaker row only. No blood ties implied. On it, Evan's fingers flew. Simple doc. Duties listed. Boundaries clear. Human efficiency. Aliens always blinked at the speed. Council pinged it again. Beil's voice overrode. Oh, lords, convene. Motion passes by. Acclamation. Dawn right. Queen steps down. Or proves purity. Sharani froze. E bypass veto protocol. Roman snarled. Traitors incomes. Optics favor him now. Keth yawned, leaning into Evan's side. Evan adjusted, arm casual around the small shoulders. Plan B. Kit needs sleep. We hold till morning. Sharani watched the contact. Her tail stilled. You accept this. Easily. Daycare shift. Extended. Evan stood, lifting Keth effortless. The prince nestled in, purring soft. Romin's eyes widened. It carries the hair like a pouchling. Guards murmured approval. Sharani waved them out. Sanctum. They moved as unit. Evan led tablet mapping optimal route. Dew slick crystals crunched under boots. His flagged hazard cleared earlier. No slips. Inner sanctum sealed. Kith conked out on silk cushions. Sharani poured nectar, sharp, fermented tang. She handed Evan a cup. Why? Humans reject such claims. Evan sipped. Burn good. Kit saved my focus in this print. Chanting colors. Earn back up. That's family. Her mandibles parted slight. Death repied, yet you stay. Contract. Shrugged. Bruce, Empire's got good asser pay. Romin snorted. Asard you turned our palace into fortress playbook. Alarms bladded soft outer breach attempt. Evan sing tablet. Perimete drone. Stun protocols. Sharani activated defense grid. Veil pushes. Kausila Dawn decides. Evan blood fallback holds. Keth steer, mumbling that fort. Evan tuck blanket tighter. Hours ticked. Sharani reviewed decree. Send it, palace wide. Evan broadcast. Feeds, lit official, caretaker adjunct Hale assigned. Protects, Hair, Reddit. Responses fluted. Wards saluted Olo. Servants nodded. But Bale's faction roared. Taint legalized. Dawn neared. Drums peaked. Bale shuttle touched down parachids. Lords disembark. Banners high. Ramming gripped stunner. They come for right. Sharani stood tall. We faced them. Evan checks Keth. Sleeping sound. A rose. I'll front, the kid detail. Keep him clear. She nodded. Gratitude flickered in her eyes. Council chamber doors loomed. Bale waited, flanked by rivals. Queen. Prove purity. Or healed. Sharani enter Evan at flank with Romin. Keth hidden safe. Bailey's gaze locked on Evan. The Othworlder. Forbidden. Evan stood easy. Gotta take her, a hunt. Seek, edict, murmurs, rose, Sharani projected the dock. Legal bond supervised. A secure. Bale laughed cold. Supervised taint is taint. Motion, succession council. Draganthy under me. Queen unfit, but is lit all aboard. Split, tension crackled. Kef's voice piped from hidden calm. Ramin's error. Caretaker that good. Bad Lord go, Chamber gasped. Bailey sees it. Hear the air. Guas drew blades. Gauss erupted. Evan jank stunner. Green path. Now. Sharani bolted with him. Roman covered. Bluffs clashed. Beishout chased. Seize the taint. Evan fire precise. One down. They sprinted corridors. Keth's beacon pulsing ahead. Sanctum doors sealed. Keth waited, arms out. Dad! Evan scooped him. Asset did again. Sharani panted. Council fractures. Bede claims regency. Roaming patch wounds. Laieties shift. Your rules, all them. Evan nodded. Family does. Outside Bale's drums thundered victory. But inside, Keth hugged tight. Evan held firm. Dawn broke red. Empie teteret. One human's kindness. The fault line. Bale's face flickered on. Right begins. Surrender the child, or war. Bedge hologram sharpened. Sanctum rite commences. Oman, present yourself. Or forfeit the hair. Evan set Keth down. The boy clutched his leg. Sharani gripped her thrown arm. Romin checked stunner charges. Broadcast live. Romin side. Ho Empire watches. Evan nodded. Stand that up. We go out. Face it head on. Sharani's mandibles clicked. They'll shred you with questions. Tradición as weapon. Questions I can handle. Evan knelt to Keth. Stay with Mom. Gel if needed. Keth's eyes widened. No, that go too. Not this time, champ. Evan ruffled his crest. Guard the fort. Roman opened the sanctum doors. Evan stepped into the corridor alone. Drones hummed overhead, lenses whiling. Bell's voice boomed from every speaker. Off-worlder, hail. Enter the rite of purity. Prove no taint soils the air. Evan strode into the council chamber. Spotlights sat down. Holo screens circled the dice. Bale sat central. Rivals flanking. Empty seats gaped where loyalties fled. Wars parted. Evan mounted the platform. Restraints snapped down his wrists. Symbolic. Cold metal. Bale leaned forward. First query. Why does a predator linger near royal young? Evan met his gaze. Not predator. Contractor. Hire to train cars. Keth wandered into hazard zones 3 times pre-contract. 0 since locks confirme. Murmurs ripple. Arriva al tapta holopath. Display. Projections bloomed. Timestamps. Sensor data. Keth's paths straightened. Incidents dropped to nil. Vale's mandibles twitched. Irreverente. Second. What drives your touch? Off-wall their hands, defile. Evan flexed against restraints. Touch secures. Keth fell during drill, caught in mid-air. Bruises prevented. Medical scans. Archived. Scans lit up. Before, fractures common in hairs. After clean. Counsel shifted. One nodded faintly. Bill pressed. Please. Third. Your meals with the air. Seduction through sustenance. Nutrition protocol. Evan kept voice level. Kev skipped cycles. Gain mass. Energy up 40%. Vitals log daily. Graphs spiked positive. Keth's growth curve earth healthy. Bale slammed his podium. Matrix mock tradition. Fourth, whispers of stories. Brainwashing the pure. Engagement tactic. Evan listed. Improved focus 25%.
Recall tests. 98-80% now.
Eradicate. Scars flashed. Counselors blinked at peaks. Bale's eyes narrowed. You quantify the sacred. Fifth, the embrace. Forbidden intimacy. Containment hold. Evan describe. Threat inbound. Blatz drone. Shielded Keth. Impact. Absorbed. No arm to hire. Footage replayed. Evan's body blocking assassins. Keth. Unscathed. Silence fell. Base waited. Enough evasion. Decor. Your intent. Declare it. Evan stared. Straight. Keep him safe. That's the contract. Outcomes. Profit. All aboard. Tallied. Botes flickered green. Bell surged. Bale surged up. Manipulation. But wait. A chimey pierced the chamber. High and pure. Kith's voice echoed from the entry arch. Joser right. I claim. Gasps exploded. Keth burst in. Robs askew. Ramin chasing. Sharani followed. Face ash. The boy dashed the platform. Drone swiveled, capturing every angle. Empire-wide feats locked on. Keth no. Sharani lunged. Too late. Keth slapped his palm to Evan's chest. Golden threads erupted from his hand. Bioluminescent cords weaving into Evan's skin. Traditional right. Irrevocable. Counsel recoiled. A binds the alien. Bale crowed. Dane confirmed. The child poison. Riti invalid. Keth beamed up. Forever now. Evan felt the threads pulse. Warm, linking vitals. Heart rates synced faintly. It didn't flinch. Easy, kiddo. The cards sealed. All those screens blared. Bond formed. Empire law recognized. Vale, World, and Sharani. Your household breeds abomination. The right grants him privilege. Council seat. Evan raised bound hands. No, redirect. This isn't privilege. Evan's voice cut clear. It's guardianship. He pledged protection only. No seat. No power. With duty to Keth. Log it. Keth nodded fierce. Yes, guardad. Sharani stepped forward. Record the pledge. Empire witnesses. Drones hummed assent. All aboard. Updated. Guardianship affirmed. Political claim no. Bill's face purple. Trickery. It twists writ. Security breach. Audit his quarters. Now. Guards mobilized. Romin blocked the exit. By whose order? Mine, Bale barked. Regency motion renews. Taint hides weapons. Evan stayed calm. Audit fine. Open book. But Ket clung tighter. Threads glowed brighter. Roman signaled his team. Sweep authorized. I lead. Guards filled out. Tension coiled. Sharani whispered to Evan. They find nothing. You keep it clean. Standard. Scan faces. Loyalties waver. Some eyed base waver. Minutes stretched. Drones broadcast the weight. Viewer surged. Billions tuned. Romans calm crackled. Quarters clear. No weapons. Child toys. Human texts. Training manuals. Bale sneered. Toys? Proof of grooming. Safety gear, Evan said. Kef's size. Helmets. Pads. Usage logged. Images projected. Mini best. Soft blocks. Harmless. Consil murmured approval. Bote stepped. Bale pivoted. The bond itself. Forbidding cross species. A deleted. Keth piped up. That strong. Saved me. You bad one throne. Laughter bubbled. Bale sputtered. Sharani size momentum. Right complete. Pledge accepted. Motion died. All aboard locked. Queen affirm. Dale slammed out. Revos trailed, whispering. Evan knelt as restraints released. Get hacked. Threads hummed. Content. Romin approach.
Your logic holds.
Woodbale retreats wounded. Next strike. Evan stood Keth on hip. Predictable. We prep. Sharani touched his arm. First unguarded. You turn their trap. Empire sees. Drones linger. Feeds alive. One man's steady hand reshaped the stars. But alarms wailed. Outer sensors flashed. Romin checked. Bale's forces breaching palace gates. Evan shifted Keth higher. Green path. Now they ran. Drums thundered closer. Bond threads pulsed warning. Trouble inbound. Evan burst through the service door. Keth bounced on his hip. Drums pounded from the outer walls. Vale's militia breached the gates. Green path clear. Ramin barked over comms. His squad flanked them, blades drawn. Evan scanned the patrol grid on his wrist. Hollow, a gap yawned in the nursery wing loop. 2 minutes off pattern. No coincidencia. Gap at Sector 7. Assassins inbound. Safe room. Now. He veered left. Sharani matched stride, her robes hike. Guards peeled off to cover flanks. Hef's threads hummed against Evan's skin, warm pulses like a heartbeat. The boy's claws dug in. That bad one's coming. Stay low, kid. Evan shouldered a side panel. It slid open to the pre-planned bolt hole, reinforced plasteel, stocked with basics. Human engineering child-sized door, auto-seal. He deposited Keth inside. Lock and stack blocks. You know drill. Keth nodded, eyes wide but steady. Threats flared brighter. Trust absolute. Sharani hesitated at the threshold. Evan, Queen inside. I'll hold the breach. He slapped the panel shut. Bolts thunked home. Romin gripped his arm. You arm? This human toy? AI-eyed Evan stun baton. Non-lethal. Effective. Evan checked the corridor. Cam fit. Shadows flickered. 3 figures in nursery wing vents. A large shriek. Red lights stropped. Intruder in human quarters. The system blared, framing him. Perfect. Evan moved. It dragged the supply cart across the hall, wedged it under the vent grate. Improvise. Barrier. First assassin dropped, cloaked in black weave, vibro dagger gleaming. He lunged for the safe room door. Evan sidestepped. Button cracked against the wrist. Dagger clattered. He hooped. The arm twisted into a joint lock. Non-lethal hold. Cub training basics. Assassin snarled. Klaus raked Evan's vest. Threats from Keth Pol's warning. Evan ducked the follow-up slash. It drove a knee into the gut. Pinned the figure face down. Zip ties from his belt snapped tight. Second assassin bolted the cart. Blaster hissed low yield. Palace issue. Evan rolled Keth's toy chest in front. Bolts, scorch, foam, padding. He lunged. Low, swept the legs. Button to the neck pressure point. Lights out. Third hesitated. Comms crackled on the body. Human down. Breach secure. Bell's voice. Distorted, but tone matched. Evan charged. Third assassin fired wild. Evan absorbed the grace on his shoulder. Best held. Tackle to the floor. Shook hold until thrashing stopped. Silence fell. Except Keth's threads. Steady now. Content. Roman stormed in with 4 guards. Blades raised. They froze. Evan knelt over the first captive. Shoulder burned, but functional. Clear. Tres down. Romin's gaze locked on Evan, still shielding the safe room door with his body. No escape attent. No flight. You held. Romin knelt. Jacked pulses. Non-lethal. Precise. Standard protocol. Protect. Evan hauled the first assassin up. Hood failed back. Bill faction tattoo on the neck. Spider with crest. Guards murmured. Sharani's voice filtered through the door panel. Status. Romin keyed the override. Door hissed open. She emerged. Keth in arms. Boy beamed. Dad got him. Evan nodded to Romin. Interrogate. Fast. They dragged the first to the hall bench. Romin pressed a scanner to the temple. Truth serum auto-inject. Who sent? Romin growled. Assassin. Spared blood. Lord Bale. Queen tainted. 8 claimed outsider. Purge the bond. Council gasped. Drones still broadcasted. feeds exploding. Bale's orders. Sharani stepped forward, voice steel. Frame the human. Alarms rig. If falls, you weaken. Jaws clench. Jaws clench. Crack! Poison tooth. Shattered. Foam bubbled from lips, dead in seconds. Ramen cursed. Bale's elite. Drain for this. Evan rebound the others. Unconscious. No teeth. Autopsy confirms. Empire watches. Drones whirred closer. Billions tuned in real time. Uman ward. Blooded best. Alien prince. Safe on hip. Queen at his side. Sharani's hand brushed his threads. Linked now. Faint echo through Kaith. You shielded my son. Again. Job. But, her touch lingered. Protocol cracked. Roaming stood. Councils. Reconverses dawn. Biju flees or fights. Palace lockdown. Evan scanned grids. Another gap forming. Outer docks. Rectitable errans. Keth yawned. Head on Evan's shoulder. Threats hummed lullaby soft. Wards saluted Romin. Captain, the human. He fights like no fear. Dramin eyed Evan. Respect harden. Fearless or hust normal? Evan shrugged. Trained for it. They marched to command Nexus. Drones trailite. Feeds lead galaxies. Hash, human dad trending. Bates web freight. But in the shadows a fourth shadow slipped the bends. Unseen. Dawn broke cold over the spires. Evan paced the Nexus. Keth slept in a corner cot. Threads dim. Sharani reviewed hololocks beside him. Her advisors clustered. Loyalists now. Veil's purge exposed. Romin burst in. Docks breached. Bale's shuttle launched. Interceptor scramble. Sharani straightened. No. Track. Dead him rally traders. Crush ons. Evan checked. Patrol grits. Gaps sealed. His overlays integrated now. Winds call. But prep fallback. Keth first. She met his eyes. Death deepened. Always. Console feed activated. Empire watched. Bates' face hollow flickered. Fugitive broadcast. Queen corrupted. A bonds with B-spray. Uman poisons bloodline. Laughter rippled Nexus. Eth steered. Mumbled. Bad veil. Evan knelt by cot. Ruffled feathers. Sleep sham. That's God watch. Boy settled. Romin clapped Evan's back. First time. Your Daker saves thrones. Team effort. Evan nodded to guards. Uman calm rippled out. But shuttle pings escalated. Bale rallied fleets. No distress beacon. Romin frowned. Trap? Evan pulls schematics. Or bite. We go. Sharani rose with you. Catwalk. Me too. Nexus homed. Bond treads. Pulse empire-wide now. Viewers felt echo. One human's steady grip turned rivals to dust. Hours blurred to pursuit. Interceptors lock Bile's shuttle in asteroid drift. Eban Roddy Romin's lead fighter. Keth secure rear with Sarani. Boring teams ready, Romin said. You're non-lethal. Evan check baton charge. Works on traitors too. Docking clams stood it. A-locks cycled. Bale's guard swarmed. 10 strong. Blades high. Evan move it first. Cut will dodge. Baton arc. 2 down. Holds lock. Roaming flank. Blade flashing. Lethal. Uman leads. Sharani's guards poured in. Bay cornered. In cockpit. Sneer. Gone. You be a stammer. A shame. Evan zip-tied the last guard. Step forward. Surrender. Trial fair. Bayjern. Hidden blade. Evan. Parried with forearm ward. Twist. Pin. Ramen hauled him up. Empire judges. Drones captured it all. Feats picked. Quadrions. Uman mercium polis lord. Back palace. Consul chained bail. Confession sport. No poison this time. Sharani addressed throne. Bond feared. Uman guardian. Empire strengthens. Keth cheered from dice. That threats sank. Court bowed. Evan stood back. Job done. But Sharani pulled him forward. Hand in hand. First public. Aliens gasped. Culture shock rippled. Uman normal. Extraordinary. Roaming grinned. Welcome family. Night fell quiet. Evan tucked Keth in nursery. Now fortified. Threads warm. Sharani lingered door. Debt paid? No. More. Evan smiled. Ongoing contract. She laughed. Rare sound. Door closed soft. Outside Stars watched. One guard's kindness quaked dynasties. Bates' cell echoed empty plots. But deep space, a rival signal pincheth. Larger threat stirred. Queen Sharani slammed her scepter on the throne dice. Echoes boomed through the grand hall. Courtiers flinch. Drones whirred overhead, broadcasting live to the Empire's core worlds. Lord Advisor Beale stands accused of treason, she declared. His access to palace systems revoked. Guards, confine pending full inquiry. Captain Romin snapped orders. Armored troops marched forward, blades sheathed, but stances iron. Vale rose from his council seat, robes swirling, his face twisted into a mask of outrage. Evan Hale stood at the Queen's flank, baton holstered, eyes scanning the hall. He noted the side doors. Two, unguarded. Keth clung to his legs, small claws digging in. The prince's threats pulsed warm against Evan's skin, a constant since the bonding. Holograms flickered. Anthen statutes, glowing red. Highness, you overreach. This who maintains your house. Statute 47. Prime, forbidding cross-species bonds. Public claiming voids royal purity. The hair's call, that before quadrillions? Skanda, murmurs erupted. Courtiers leaned in, threats flickering shock yellow. One noble gasp, claws to mouth. Evan felt. Keth stiffened. Sharani's mandibles clicked sharp. Irrelevant. They plotted poison. Uman saved us. Saved. Vale sneered, pacing the floor. Ecorrupts. Imprints the hair. Your hand in his. Broadcast empire-wide. Tradition crumbles. Roman gripped his blade hilt. Silence, traitor. Evidence change you. Evan stepped forward, voice calm. Ma'am, I resign. Full withdrawal. Evac plans ready. Shuttle prepped. Keth secured off-world till clear. Keth yank Evan's trouser cuff. No, mine. The prince bolted up the dice steps, threads blazing royal blue. He planted feet-wide tiny scepter raised, replica but voice boomed with training. Ayers Bito, ancient custom, Evan stays. Hal froze. Drones zoomed in. Sharani's eyes widened. Evan crouched, hand on Keth's shoulder. Keyed, protocol! Beto, Keth shouted again. Threads lashed out, linking every courteous implant. Custom triggered. Public refusal of separation, binding until Queen ratified or overrode. They laughed cold. Its folly proves taint. Bond forbidden. Beto invalid. Courtier split. Half bowed to Keth. Half clustered to Vale. Whispers swelled Roman signal troops, forming a cordon around the throne. Sharani rose, threads steady gold. She pulled Evan up beside her, hand firm on his arm. Beto anchors. Evan Hale, of kin. Neutral family clause, warriors pact, no blood, no taint. Hagards, empire endures. Gasps rippled, beige pale, of king. Obscure vit for allies, not pets. Evan scanned exits again. Tension coiled. Keth beamed up at him, thread sinking perfect. Grit, tightened. Gratitude, resolve. Romin barked. Court dismissed. They yield to cells. Troops held Bayou away. Espat. This fractures the realm. Rivals watch. Hall emptied in waves. Sharani turned to Evan, voice low. You offered escape. Why stay? Evan shrugged, adjusting Keth on his hip. Contract's family now. Plans hold either way. Keth nuzzled Evan's neck. Dadivan. Threats warmed. Sharani's mandibles softened. Oath kin. First in centuries. Romin approached, saluting. Bold, Highness. Code splits. Bale's allies flee to outer lords. Feats explode. Human claims thrown. Evan set Keth down, checked baton charge. Standard up. Secure perimeter. Gets Beto buys time. Bad drones pinging alerts. Holo screens lit. Rival signals from deep space. Bale's hidden fleet mobilizing. Evan's jaw set. Palace shook. Not from quakes, but politics. Evan paced the fortified nursery wing. Keth slept in the reinforced grid. Threads dimmed to soft glow. Sharani watched from the doorway, armor traded for robes. Bale's counter spreads, she said. Statute twists. Cross bonds weaken has. They call Keth diluted. Evan nodded, reviewing Evac schematics on his wristpad. Pull guards to inner ring. Will run drills at dawn. She stepped closer, threads brushing his. Razzing again. Save my reign. Emit her gaze. Keth bittot. Orthkeen binds me. We adapt. Romin burst in, blade drawn. Highness! Out it comes. Hacked. Baal broadcast from cell claims queen bewitched by human pheromones. Sharani snarled. Lees. Hamit. Too late. Romin sighed. Core wars. Riot. Protest at gates. Evan grabbed his gear best. Keth. To shadow. Ikaver. No. Gets voice piped from the crib. Princess sat up, eyes fierce. Stay, Beto. Evan scooped him. Protocol kid. Safe first. Keth's threads. Sinking Evan's pad. Schematics locked. Shuttle denied. Air's command. Sharani laughed, sharp. Anthem Beto holds. Take two. Forces our hand. Drow mean all stirred blade. Smart princeling. Boys who's caught appeal. Evan felt the weight. Human normal. Protect the kid. Alien extraordinary. Beto quakes power. Alarms wailed. Drones reported. Baal's faction storm sub-councils. Grand Hall reconvened at dawn. Evan flanked the throne. Keth on dice perch. Courtiers packed in threads. A storm of colors. Fear red. Loyalty gold. Ambition purple. Baal's proxy, Lady Sirith, strode forward. Queen. Revoke. Oathkin. Eights. Veto. Child's whim. Statute demands purity. Sharani stood tall. Klaus natural. Oathkin. Serves without claim. Proof Trayson first. Cyrite activated Olo. Feats of Evan's mercy on Baal. Handhold with Queen. Keth's dad. Uman reshapes palaces. Guards ape his non-lethal ways. Weak. Romin growled. Result strong. Baal caught clean. Evan whispered to Sharani. Let me demo. She nodded. Evan stepped center. Challenge. Accepted. Spar. Robmen. Non-lethal. Gasps. Romin grinned. Drawing training blade. Uman leads. They circled. Romin lunged. Blade whirl. Alien speed. Evan dodged low. Button snap. Blocked. Cartwheel feigned. Leg sweep. Romin hit mat. Rolled up laughing. Yield? Evan said, offering hand. Romin took it, stood. Point proven. Courtiers murmured. Approval. Threats. Shifted gold. Sirith faltered. Trickery! Keth jumped down. That wins. Beto stays. Laughter bubbled. Sharani sees it. Oathkin affirmed. Inkiri proceeded. Romin checked slate. Evan's evac scans flagged them. Drones en route. Cyrith both stiff, retreated. Evan exhaled. One bout balance tipped. Private chambers hummed with strategy. Sharani poured nectar. Rye honor. Keth doodled fleet maps on pad. Threats linked to Evans. Dead deepens, she said. You turn veto to shield. Evan sipped. Milled burn. Daycare rules. Kids first. Politics second. Romin entered. Urgen. Maham deep space ping confirmed. Bejer's patron Duke Thaler. Fleet messes at Dream. Sharani streets iced. Invasion pretext. Tainted throne. Evan stood. Evac now. Fly decoy. Keth clutched leg. No leave. Queen knelt to Prince. He stays. Oath binds. But console flashed. Thalor's ultimatum. Surrender man. Purify A or war. Evan checked baton. Alase fortify, but fleets wharfed. Keth's eyes lit. My Beto. Kai allies. Sharani paused. Third option stirred. Sons bond. Uman grit. Queen's rule. Threat synced empire-wide. Quadrians watched. One guard's kindness ignited stars or war. Romina slammed the hollow projector onto the grand dice. Reconstruction begins. Watch. Evan nodded. Baton clipped to his belt. He stepped into the projected attack site, a shimmering recreation of the palace corridors from 2 cycles ago. Courtiers packed the throne room, threads flickering silver tension. BJ stood rigid at the advisor's flank, mandibles tight. Roman activated the sign. Ghostly figures materialized. Assassins in word livery, slipping through vents. Intruders, breach here, Roman barked. Baal's requisition codes unlocked the armory. Evan mobbed through the hollow, tracing paths. He pointed. Supplied drone logs match. CDLs from Bale's estate fleet. Had pulled the data himself during night shifts. Simple cross-referencing, human audit basics. Gasps rippled. A courtier's threats, flattered accusation. Bale's voice sliced. Fabrication. Human tricks corrupt our things. Evan ignored him, synced his baton to the projector. It extended, highlighting drone trajectories. Path loops back to your dockmaster's ping. Time-stamped. Roaming advanced the sim, assigns converged on the nursery. Evan blocked a ghost blade with a casual baton parry, replay of his real save. Kev's tiny olive figure darted behind him. Uman shielded air, Roman said. But why arm the killers? Baitil's signature. Threads across the room hardened to iron. Bale's polished facade cracked. Lies. The queen sped spins webs. Evan deactivated the hollow. Gold met. Chain exposed. Courteous murmured, eyes unveiled. Sharani rose from the throne. Threats coiling authority. Evidence binds you, Lord Advisor. Your logistics fed death to my son. Evan stayed at Keth's side, hand near the prince's shoulder. The child gripped his pant leg, eyes wide but steady. Veil bowed low, voice silk over venom. Majesty. Tradition demands purity. The hair's attachment taints the light. Sharani's gaze pinned him. Names and networks. Yield them. Take exile on Rimworld 9. Refuse. Face the pyre. Silence crushed the air. Veil's threats boiled black fury. Courtiers leaned in. Exile? Bale spat. For defending Empire from human filth? Lunged. Not at the queen, but Keth. Claws extended, straight for the prince's throat. Evan moved. One step forward, baton snapped up. Hooked. Bale's arm. Twisted dropped him to the dice marble. No strike, no break, just restraint. Babe bashed, mandibles snapping inches from calf. Stay down, Evan said, knee pinning the lord's chest. Calm pressure like corralling a toddler tantrum. Guards surged. Romin waved them back. Human hold suffices. Keth picked out, unharmed. That stopped Batman. Sharani's threats flattered gold triumph. Witness. Oath King Guardianship Proven. Evan Hale claims protector status, codified, unassailable. Courtiers stared. Veil snarled under Evan's knee. Forbidden. Crossbond corrupts. Reforms expand. Sharani continued, voice steel. Nursery scans, mandatory. Ward rotations, human pattern. Layered. Alert. Child safety overrides protocol. Empire adopts. Romin saluted. Implemented at dawn. Evan released. Veil as chains clicked on. The Lord glared up. Defeated. Evan stepped back to Keth, who beamed. Threads shifted. Gold dominance spread. Hours later, the public procession launched. Sharani led. Evan at Keth's side per new decree. The Royal Avenue thronged with millions, holo screens beaming empire-wide. Airships hummed overhead, banners snapping. Keth slipped his small hand into Evan's larger one. Evan squeezed gently, standard reassurance. The prince looked up, voice clear over the roar. Dad walks with me. The crowd hushed. Threads froze across the masses. A billion eyes locked on the human-alien clasp. Evan kept stride even. No flinch. Hushed family logistics. Silence stretched. Then, a rumble. Not cheers for the queen. Applause crashed like thunder for the hand-hold. Dread's blaze rainbow unity. Sharani glanced back, mandibles curving faint smile. Roaming flanked, slate buzzing, alley pings. Bale's networks crumbled in the feed. Thaler's fleet recalled. Keth tugged Evan's hand. Beto. Wings. Evan ruffled the prince's crest. Kids first. The palace goes quiet. One more time. Then it rises, not for a queen, but for a family. Evan scanned the avenue ahead. Drone is weird confirmation. No threats. But threats pose new. Petitions flooding for human advisors. Child reform envoys. Rumin leaned in. Your daycare topples dukes. Fleet stands down. Evan shrugged. Juice kept the kid safe. Keth skipped ahead, pulling him along. Sharani matched pace, her presence a shield now shared. Back in the palace core, strategy chamber sealed tight. Sharani, dismiss aides. Only Evan, Romin, Keth remained. Talar yields, she said, pouring nectar. Your reconstruction shattered his pretext. Evan accepted the glass, sipped. Milburn grounded, locks don't lie. Keth clambered onto Evan's lap. Fleet paths rerouted to safe harbors. That's maps better. Roaming check his slate. Reforms, ripple, outer worlds, demand, human trainers. Optics shifted. Sharani's threats. Warmth amber. Rare. Vulnerability. Deep, eternal. You claim my son before I could. Evan, set the path straight. Kid needed a hand. That's it. Bailey's interrogation feed flickered on the wall. The Lord broke, spilling networks. Pyre schedule at dusk. Exile's mercy, Sharani murmured. Lunge sealed fate. Evan nodded. Competence spoke. Words wasted. Keth yawned, curled against Evan's side. Story time? Sharani arched a brow. Protocol breach. But she knelt. One tile. Human lore. Evan Lanchin, simply Earth, fable of lost ducklings finding home. Keth's eyes lit, threads sinking to his voice. Drumming lingered at door. Guard shift rotates. Human norm. Rest cycles. Enforce. Evan waved acknowledgement. Palatium secure. Dawn broke with decrees etched in crystal. Evan hail. Guardian prime. Child protocols, imperi, mandate, couriers bow deeper now. Threats gold deference. Keth walked first, dragging Evan to balcony. Procession again. Hold hands. Evan chuckled. Your call. Plow crowds chanted. Not royal titles, but oathkin. Human kindness. Alien legend. Sharani joined, hand-brushing Evan's arm. That's quite thanks. Rowmen reported. Thalor exiled. Fleets integrated. One guard's normalcy remade stars. But Evan eyed the horizon. Scans pingeth. Distant promise. New rivals watched. Keth squeezed his hand. That fixes. Evan straightened. Ready. The avenue filled anew. Keth marched center. Evan's hand firm in his. Family veto. Krause erupted. Threads united. Queen strode tall. But the rise was theirs. Evan felt the shift. Kindness codified, power shared, no cake left, only foundation. Yet whispers grew, more hairs, more bonds, human ripples endless, roaming signaled. I'll clear. For now. Keth grinned up. Play buttons later? Evan nodded. Deal! Procession rolled on. Empire followed.